had an idea for marketing on the van because we're going to be driving around quite a bit. Sometimes you see quite clever messages on vans. I was thinking as well, like you want, because it's going to look like a work van. So I was like, how do we make it look a bit more like a work van? So it would put people off, hopefully, from maybe potentially approaching the van. And so I thought, yeah, nonconformity company, the logo for that down each side. And then that will look like, even though it's not a kind of trades company, we're an online company, that might invoke a bit of curiosity, and people might then Google nonconformitycompany.com, and it would just in turn make the van look like, yeah, a work van. I've got a few high vises, thanks Dad. Throw those on the dash with a copy of The Sun crumpled up of it and an empty sandwich wrapper and a packet of Skips or something. And then from the front cab, it will also look like a work van. And then I was thinking, what might be quite cool is on the back, in traffic, you're going to have a car behind you a lot of the time. So if we could do a message, because the trouble with the nonconformity company signage on the side, people are going to be coming into that company from lots of different routes, like all of the social medias, YouTube, etc., and marketing, and yeah, all sorts of ways. So there'll be no way of really tracking, like, oh, somebody saw the van, they Googled nonconformity company. There's just no way of tracking that. However, it would be kind of a cool experiment to track like how we could market ourselves, how we could market this company with a moving vehicle, our living vehicle, not living vehicle, our adventure van, storage, food storage and preparation, and a rear lounge seating area to enjoy that food and to enjoy a break, a rest, a day at the beach or whatever. And I've just been going through some of the plans now and finalizing those today, and then it'll be materials time. And yeah, this is just going to be a first run of getting it moving. We've not got much time, so it's just going to be getting it as functional with those three areas. So then I was thinking, I've got this domain lifesnack.com, and I've had ideas with it in the past, and it's always been sitting there. It's actually the only domain I've ever been offered money for, and I turned it down. I think they offered me like $500, and then I countered quite a bit higher, and they went ahead and bought lifesnack something else. And so I've kept the domain. And yeah, I always thought, oh, maybe I should have sold it. That would have been quite cool to do and make some money from a domain. But anyway, I've got it. And I was then thinking on the back, I could put the LifeMaster, because that's the real heart of the business, the LifeMaster program. And that's going to be a very sequential, easy to follow program for people to start integrating this system for life and managing your life, those 5 areas, the past, present, future system, and really designing the life that you want. Because you've got to consciously, actively look to the future and picture and design and feel and imagine how you want it to look, so you know where you're going. And then your day-to-day actions, you align as much as you can with where you're going in the future. And then guess what? You're going to move towards that design, and things will start to happen, and you'll feel good because you're moving towards the life that you want. And then that vision can always evolve, and your days and life will always be evolving towards it. And that's the idea. So then I thought, but then again, I thought on the back, if we have the LifeMaster, I was just thinking, because on the LifeMaster website at the minute, we've got, is your life balanced, as a question, and then a yes, no answer, and they'll take you down different routes, both leading really to the same destination, but just taught in a different way, different language, so we can really split test the business in a way. Because split testing is really good. That's what we're talking about: building in public, building out loud, building in reverse, kind of doing business in the reverse way. Go out there and talk to customers and get customers before you've really built anything or done a website or done the company, because you just never know if your idea is going to be viable or not. And so what you can then do online as well is also split test a lot of these things. Split test the headlines, split test the business name, split test the offerings, the user journeys. So I was thinking, well, what I could do is have LifeSnack as a bit of an inroad to the LifeMaster system and nonconformity company offerings, and have a question on the back there of the van on one of the doors, where it just said, I was thinking, is your life tasty? Because it's life snack, so it might be food, but then if it's life and snack. So the question in the top left, is your life tasty, question mark, and then in the bottom, just life snack in capitals, and then .com in lowercase, and then lots of space for the color. The van's white, so I'd probably want to have it all black, and then white font, and that'll really stand out. And then we'll know, I'll be able to then track the traffic, and lifesnack.com won't be linked to from any of our stuff at all. So there won't be any traffic coming there from any social media, any other websites, any of the A to Z directory for Nonconformity Company we've got there. So everybody can come to Nonconformity Company, see all the startups in a nice ordered list. But yeah, if we don't have it there, then I'll be able to go on to the data and be like, oh, right, we've had 250 visits last month to lifesnack.com. So I'll know exactly that driving that van around and enjoying our life, I've attracted 250 people to that website. And then on that website, it will be our job to lead them through, start them on a bit of a journey, the LifeMaster journey, but kind of just do it in a slightly different way again. So I'll be in turn bringing people in a different route, split testing the LifeMaster business and tracking exactly how much business and how effective driving a van with a well thought out sign on the back of the van actually is, because I'm curious. Like it could be not very effective. It could be really effective, especially if it's just parked there and people could see it, I guess, walking by. It might be intriguing, but also driving around. If somebody's behind you and they're having a bad day and then they look up and they're like, is your life tasty? Oh, lifesnack.com. That sounds interesting. Let's have a little look. Just try and make it as simple as possible. And then on that website have just a really simple route where we start talking. I wrote a couple of paragraphs actually of copy for that, talking about comparing it with the 5 flavors of food that makes a good dish, looking at these 5 areas of life: health, work, people, finances, and evolution. It's a subtle blend of those 5 departments that's going to end up blending and making a tasty, great life, isn't it? And you know, if a dish is too sweet, if it's too salty, it's not blended right, is it? This is the problem with Hawaiian pineapple pizza, and people think it's not a good combination. And I can see why somebody would think that, because a lot of the times cheap, that awful like wafery ham is used, which doesn't taste of anything. It's like pointless, watered down mush. So it's not salty. The ham needs to be salty to combine with the sweetness of the pineapple. And again, the pineapple, there's you don't just chop 6 big bits on there. You want loads of small cubes and then scattered all around, so you can have a little bit in each bite. And the ham as well, the same. The sweetness of the pineapple with the saltiness of the ham, and then the umami of the cheese and the dough is just a beautiful combination. It can't be denied. But I can see why if somebody doesn't get it, it's because low quality ham. You can swap out those the ham for black Moroccan olives, because they're really salty. They're really nice. So that's a good vegetarian, or just a easy combination if you've not got the ham. Like, always got olives in the fridge. So sometimes I make that in a wrap. I get some of those. I've just been buying recently some of those flatbreads. So you can just have them in the freezer and just for a snack, whip them out, and then do a quesadilla, half mozzarella olives, salty olives, and some pineapple. Really good. So yeah, just combining, because food's a big passion of mine and health is such a big part of, health is the most important of the 5 departments. It'll be nice to kind of bring people in around that theme and then lead them down a path, be intrigued, lead them down a path comparing the 5 departments of life to the 5 flavors of any dish, and then start nudging them and waking them up to this system of LifeMaster, as in starting to manage those 5 areas, start to get them sorted, get them in control, tidy everything up, and then design your life and design these 5 areas, and then have a system to be in control of the past, present, future, and be able to push these 5 areas along in a balanced manner. Because we've said it before, we'll say it again, a lot of people in life, they're struggling to balance automatically because they've just got not enough time. Like reading, new experiences, life, designing, managing the finances. A lot of people are just surviving. So this is a system to start thriving. And yeah, I just thought it was a cool idea to test this. It could be a failure, it could be a real winner, but we could get also, my clever neighbour, Darren, suggested we could just on the back do thin metallic signs that go on there that then we could change. We could also have them in different languages and test then different things, because although billboard advertising, you're just shouting at the many and yeah, it's like, how effective is it? Yeah, I think you have to be really big. Like, you always see McDonald's banners up all of the time, don't you? Just so it's always in people's subconscious mind that McDonald's is there. And I think you have to be really big or have a really clever offer that leads in. But it's kind of hard to get somebody to see a banner and go to that offer. But this way, this is the best way I can think of. So that website, all of those people that go there have only come from seeing it on my van. And I just think it would be a cool experiment to test. It won't be very expensive to set up, and because we're going to be driving around all over the place all the time, it's going to have like the potential to tickle into people in lots of different locations. And all you need then is them to, us do a good job, which we will with the program, them to be really amazed by it, join the community, start telling a couple of friends, and then you've got all of these potential spreading opportunities all over the place, all everywhere that we go, really. And that's really how business works. You can't evolve nothing, you can only evolve something. You've got to start and get going to get that first customer, to get those couple of customers. And again, the best marketing is the free marketing, which is why I've been dedicated to this YouTube channel. But the best form is word of mouth. So once you start to bring people in, do an amazing job, amaze people, look after them, be true, be honest, and then they'll just tell people about it. Especially if it's like interesting life stuff, like we're doing, that should appeal to many, really, because yeah, it just is. So a nice opportunity here to have some fun with business again, try a few things, and yes, split test. I'm also just excited about split testing LifeMaster because there's many different ways to teach this, and I'm still evolving how I want to go about it. But this also just, I don't know, it kind of alleviates the pressure because I can just be like, it doesn't really matter. It's just another route in. So advice to you, like if you've got an idea for a business, don't try and do just if it feels really big in your mind, like just park that one and just go over here and go, well, I'll just do this one thing, call it something else, do it do it separate from that. Just take one part of that and do that and see how that feels, because that should just feel a lot more achievable, a lot more doable. Just take one of those features, one of the functions, one of the things, and just say, let's get that out there and just see how that goes. And just, it's honestly, once you start doing it, things can evolve more. Get it out your head as this big thing and just do one little thing. And then the pressure should be alleviated from that, and you won't feel like you're ruining that. You're just having a little dress rehearsal, as they say. Have a beautiful day.